We started going together April 11th. Can you imagine that I remember April 11th? And I think the reason that I remember that, if I'm not mistaken, President Roosevelt died. It had to be, I'd have to check it, but I think it was in April 1945, 44 or 45. Because we were staying in Philadelphia at the Philadelphian Hotel, I think. And somebody said, "Did you hear the news? Did you hear the news?" And of course, I thought it was the war was over. I thought, "Oh, the war is over," and they said, "No, President Roosevelt died." So I can remember. I guess it might have been 30th Street Station, or it could have been on at Newark Railroad Station. It was one or the other. It might have been Philadelphia going to Newark, or it might have been Newark waiting for a train going back to Philadelphia, but we were playing in Philadelphia. And we were standing on the platform about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, just a handful of people. And a train approached. A train approached very, very slowly. And I looked, and there you could see the casket, Franklin Delano Roosevelt's, President Roosevelt's casket. And on the corner of each casket was a serviceman standing. You couldn't see their whole figure, maybe perhaps from the chest down below the waist, maybe to the hips. That's all you could see, but you knew they were in uniform. And it passed by, and there was a gentleman standing to my right, and I said, "We're experiencing history right here. It's passing right in front of us," because he was on the way to Hyde Park.
And you just happened to be on the platform?
We just happened to be on the platform at the time. And so that was the summer. We also were rehearsing in New York City when a bomber hit the Empire State Building. We were also in New York during VJ Day. We did not know until we went out to the island. We were rehearsing, and we were staying in a little theatrical hotel across from Madison Square Garden, the old Madison Square Garden. And one of the young men in the show, Johnny Melendez, said, "Mary, my mom is having spaghetti dinner tonight." Johnny had already served. He was discharged and had joined the show. And he said, "My mom's having spaghetti dinner. Would you like to come to dinner?" "Oh," I said, "I'd love it." So he said, "I brought the car into town, so I'll meet you." I said, "All right, give me a chance to change, shower, and I'll be ready." And he picked me up at the hotel, and we started out to Long Island, where his parents lived. And we were driving along very close to his home, and there was a bonfire in the middle of the road. And Johnny said, "My gosh, what's going on?" And he stopped the car because we couldn't very well drive through the fire. And we stopped the car, and Johnny jumped out and he said, "What's going on?" He said, "The war's over. It's VJ Day. The war's over." And I said, "My goodness." So we hopped in the car and we drove around the fire and we got to his house. And of course, all the relatives are there, and he has 3 sisters. And his mother is in the kitchen trying to cook the meal, and they're doing a congo. A congo, is it congo or conga line? Da 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 da. And his brother is leading this conga line out the living room, all the way around the house, through the kitchen, through the dining room. And every time they went through, his mother would say, "Get out of my kitchen, get out of my kitchen." So that was fine. And so Johnny said, "Let's go dancing. Let's go dancing." So I said, okay, fine. So we started on our way. And we went to a place, the dance floor was in the middle, and there was a bar circling the dance floor, and we started dancing. And my heel fell off because you wore heels in those days. I said, oh no. He said, that's all right, come on back. We'll go back and I'll let you borrow a pair of my sister's shoes. So we quickly drove back to Johnny's and he gave me a pair of his sister's shoes and we started on our way. And we drove and drove. He said, let's stop one more place before we go to Manhattan.
Just one check, make sure we're,
How many minutes?
we have 34 minutes.
Okay. All right, I'll just finish the trip into Manhattan and then we can end it there if you want. So he said, let's just go to one more place. So we went to one more place and we started dancing. And the buckle, I can't believe it, the buckle on the shoe broke off. So now I have the strap dragging. And I said, oh no. He said, well, let's just go back to New York. We go back to Manhattan. So we went back. He said, let's go to the hotel where all the bosses are staying. They're going to have a big party there. You know they're going to have a party there. So I said, okay, all right, we'll go there. So whatever hotel it was, I don't remember, but we went and we stayed for a short time. And there was a bicycle act called the Shreddos. And you can find them in World Book Encyclopedia. They're called the Shreddos. There was one gal, her name was Honey, and two gentlemen. And the one gentleman had a girlfriend that joined the show. She wasn't a very good skater. But anyhow, she joined the show. And she was in her early 20s, which I considered old. So she said to me, she said, I'm going back to the hotel. I said, okay, I'll come with you. So we were able to find a cab. Now, mind you, this is VJ Day. It's unbelievable. Manhattan is one big walking cocktail party. So we managed to get a cab, and he drove us to our location, but he said, I can't go down that street. He said, it's blocked. Well, I'll have to leave you off at the corner. So we paid the cab driver, and we started. It was just a short walk. I don't know whether it was 2nd Avenue, 3rd Avenue, I can't remember. But we walked from the avenue down to the hotel. And I can't even remember the hotel. It wasn't the Belvedere, that's Philadelphia, but anyhow. As I was walking, of course, the strap to my shoe was dragging on the ground. And a young sailor came behind me, and he tried to step on the strap. He kept following me, and he tried to step on the strap. And she turned around, and she said, don't you dare do that. And he stopped, and we ran. We ran for the hotel. It was worth your life. So that was my experience for VJ Day. It was incredible.